Hey guys, since we'll be using Zoom for our online learning, I just wanted to show you a few things that you could do while taking the class or how to use the software. You can log on either by click on the link that I gave you on Edmodo, or you can actually just use the meeting ID number and sign on. So for example, I could just click on this. It will open up the website. It might ask you to download the software. You will just say yes, open, and it will automatically connect you to the meeting. That's one way to do it. And the another way to do it is you can basically just copy the meeting ID that I gave you and go on your Zoom software, say join, and put in the meeting ID, put your name, and then join. But before you join, you could either choose to connect with your audio or your video, or you could turn it off. I would advise that you maybe turn off your audio if there's a lot going on in your house or in the background. And then the video depends. I know I would like to first see my students to make sure that everyone's there. And then some students might not feel comfortable to have the video on. Whatever the case, talk to your teacher about that. So I will say don't connect with the audio, leave the video on, and then join. So this is basically what you will see if your teacher is already sharing a screen or a video. So your teacher can share either their video or your teacher can share their computer screen with you. So at this time, the teacher is actually sharing the computer screen. Couple of options here. You could see that you could join in with your audio. Sometimes your teacher might say, "Oh, I can't hear you." It's because you haven't enabled the audio yet. So you will say, "Yes, join with computer audio," or you could even test the speaker microphone to make sure it's working. But you will click on join with computer audio, and then your mic will become active. If you see these green bar going up and down, that means that your mic is working and it's picking up your sound. Anytime if you want to mute yourself, you will just click on this and it will mute you. And if you want to unmute yourself, you just click on that again, okay? If you unmute yourself and the audio is still not working, there's a little up arrow which opens up the options for the microphone and speaker. Just make sure you chose the correct input and output. For example, internal is the computer's microphone, but I have a headset on, so that's why I have to choose headset. Same thing with the speaker, whether you want the computer's internal speakers or your headset. And then if it's still not working, you could choose test speaker and microphone and see if it's working fine. Okay, so that's that. Same thing with the video. You could either start the video or turn off the video by clicking on this, and you can choose a couple of options here. So for example, if you want to choose a virtual background, like just a blue screen or green screen or maybe a picture, you can choose a virtual background. It will mask out the actual background with a picture. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you want to see who else is participating in the class, you can open this up and you will see that there's your host and there are students, and then the host is screen sharing. So there are a couple of options here. For example, if you want to ask a question, you could click on this icon. It will basically show your teacher that you are raising your hand and you have a question, and the teacher could unmute you and say, "Hey, what's your question?" Or maybe hold off to the questions until the teacher is done. Whatever the case, this shows the teacher that you have a question. These two icons are, if the teacher is asking you a yes or no question, you can either say yes, you can either say no, and you could choose those icons for that. These are basically telling your teacher, like, if he or she is going too fast, you could say, "Hey, can you slow down a little bit?" And this one, I get it. Can you go faster? Most likely your teacher won't, because they will just keep their pace for everyone else. But if a whole class chooses to go faster, maybe the teacher will consider that. And a couple of other options here: thumbs up, thumbs down, clap. Um, if you need a break, you can choose this. And if you step away from your computer because you needed to grab a glass of water, or your baby sister was crying, you could just click on this, mute yourself, and let the teacher know that you are away for a little bit. Okay? So if for any chance you need to say something, but your teacher has you muted and like you were talking, but the teacher's like, oh, I can't really hear you. That could be because the teacher has you muted. So just say, unmute me. And if the teacher has control over it, then they will see an pop up on their screen saying, hey, this person wants you to unmute them. But if there is no control, like if it's not protected, then if you just say unmute me, it will automatically unmute you. All right, next thing I want to show you is the chat screen. So basically here you will see all your other classmates and teacher, and you could um, type a message and send it to everyone. Okay, now you could send a message privately to your teacher, and if you just choose a name, then it will only send to your teacher, and that's it. Couple of other options here. You can actually share a file with either everyone or your teacher. For example, if you're talking about something, maybe a sound, maybe a video, maybe a Word document, a PDF document, you can choose to upload from your computer, from your Google Drive, or any other places you have from one of these cloud sources. But if you want computer, you choose this, and this will basically share your file with everyone else, like a screenshot or a picture or a PDF, whatever document. Okay. So those are done. And the next option is basically maybe the teacher will ask you to share your screen. Maybe sometimes I will say, hey, what are you talking about? Can you show me? And then the way you share your screen is by clicking on this. And then basically it will stop the other screen sharing, and it will start sharing your screen to everyone else. The teacher may allow multiple screen share, so that way you can share your screen while someone else is sharing their screen. You could also share your video, basically just by turning this video on. So if you have a couple of options, if you don't want your video, you could always maybe share a screen. And that's it. These are some of the basic options that you have while taking your online classes through Zoom with your teacher. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post your questions or comments on Edmodo page, and I will try my best to get back to you. See you guys soon.